All right, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight, as always. So, I guess we'll jump right into it. This thing in Hawaii, it's there is so much information being thrown at us. There's a lot of information that's not being thrown at us, or we're not hearing about. So it's this is turning into something very interesting. But I'm going to get into why this is also, I think, something they're testing out on Hawaii. So, Mr. Landfill, thank you for that. Kerry, thank you for the 5x5. Ken, WTC, Sarita, Joe, thank you for the 5x5. Chris, Melissa, Laura, thank you for the 5x5. Ladybug, MM, Marco, thank you for the 5x5. Jessica, 7x7. The Warden, Blind Survivor, Comet Moon, Johnny, thank you for the 5x5. Gick Rhymes, thank you for the 5x Whiskey, appreciate it. Michael, thank you for the 5x5. Live Free or Die, thank you for the 10x10. Dan Phillips, Spotted Fawn, thank you for the 5x5. Draco, thank you for the 6x6. So if I missed anybody. Viking Prepper said Solar Storm headed this way. I don't know. Joanne, Joan, thank you for the 5x5. Sorry. Stay. All right. Overland, Teddy, Sway, Pedro, thank you for the spam by spam. Will, Brennan, thank you for the 5x spam. Johnny 308, yeah, this YouTube notifications suck. Jessica, Roadrunner, thank you for the 5x5. Cat Lady, PNW Prepper, TRK. Brian Barbie, thank you for the 5x5. Kevin Land, thank you for the donations. Appreciate it. It's Henry, thank you for the 69 by 69. JOC, thank you for the Wi-Fi by Wi-Fi. Brian, thank you for the 2x4. Dan Phillips, thank you for the AP times RNN. Draco, thank you for the 5x5. Lori, thank you for the 5x5. FUO 420, I guess. I don't do that crap. Bob, thank you for the 5x5. Amber, thank you for the 5x5. North, Cheryl, Bob, again. Bob's doing it again. Can't fall for it. Again, thank you for the 5x5. And Kay Lily, I did lose some weight, yes. There's a reason why I'm dropping weight faster now. Again, I'll be able to tell you guys hopefully next week why I'm dropping weight. Snack break, thank you for the 5x5. That's an interesting one. And black does make everything look slimmer. That is true, Johnny 308. 6x9. Thank you. Thank you, All Seeing Cat. Henry, thank you for the 12x12. Paladine, thank you for the sup by sup. Patty S, thank you for the 10-4, I guess, right? Yeah. And yes, 8 eggs. I don't know. 12x12, thank you, Henry, for that. John, thank you for the 5x5. So, everybody, thank you for the loud and clear, as per always. Hudson Valley, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you for the donation. That's coming from a moderator. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right, guys. So, a lot going on with Hawaii, right? And I want to say that what they're testing in Hawaii is a gamut of things. It's not the direct energy weapon. It's not, a new arm ticket. It's what I think they're testing and trying to see what works and what doesn't work, and also to see if they can continue to do these weird weather anomalies land grab, right? So I think that this is going to be the first time we're actually going to see it unfold. The problem with Hawaii, guys, is that the natives there are very, very on point. They notice shit right away, and they're not buying into a lot of the things that are going on and the things that are not going on. So being that, like, right now they're running out of food and water, and people who are trying to donate to them can't donate to them if they're not part of some kind of legit organization, Red Cross or FEMA. Things are taking time to get there. Now, clearly, guys, they're on an island, so things do take time to get there. That's the bad part about not having a backup plan of food on the island already. And I'm assuming they don't because they're complaining about running out of food and water. So a big that's a big that's a big thing. That's why I mean, look, I live on an island as a prepper. I'd be fucking square to the nine. But again, like I said last week or early this week rather, if you're prepping on Hawaii, you got to be a hermit, or you have to have enough for your neighbors. Right? It's only going to work that way. Those two ways. It can't work any other way. You can't be in the middle. You can't ride the middle. Kevin Land, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. He's a local 669 here. What is local 669, Kevin Land? Lumbagus, thank you for the donation. What audio recording software do you use on videos? Lumbagus, I use audio recording software. I don't. I use Final Cut Pro, and that's it. And I use the shotgun mic, a Rode shotgun mic on the top of my camera. This is the camera I use. This is my studio camera, if you will, and that's a Rode shotgun mic. Really good. And then Final Cut has a it's called I think it's a vocal something or another. It's a little button you click, and it just focuses on your voice and cuts out all the surrounding bullshit. That's a pretty cool update they had about a few months ago, or about a year ago now. But anyway. Christian Prepper, I live on an island, but we are not as friendly as Hawaiians, right? So that's why it's a little easier for me to tell somebody to go fuck themselves, you know? I can easily be like, can I get some food and water? Go fuck yourself, you know? Like, it rolls off the tongue, and people understand that, you know? And it doesn't mean like, you know, like go fuck yourself. It just means get out of here, I don't have enough. That's what the translation means of go fuck yourself. And there's different pitches of go fuck yourself that means, you know, like, you know, please get away from me, go fuck yourself. To go fuck yourself, that means go fuck yourself. I mean, get the fuck out of here, right? So there are different levels of go fuck yourselves, and how you say it and how slow you say it's going to dictate how mean you are, right? If you're like, go fuck yourself, you know, that means get out of here, right? And then there's like, seriously, dude, go fuck yourself. It means, are you kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. Different levels of it. Anyway, enough of that bullshit. So, guys, I think that they're testing what they can do and what they can get away with here in Hawaii. And I'm going to go over a couple of things as to why I'm coming to that conclusion. Because, again, first part is they're on an island. Everything is taking forever to get there. As of yesterday or the day before yesterday, they only had 20 search dogs, if I'm not mistaken, on the entire island of Maui. And in that large section that was decimated, 20 dogs is not enough. Now, I know that you can't have too many because a lot of those dogs will react to one another, and then that sort of negates the searching of people. Now, again, like I mentioned earlier this week, they're going to find things, guys, or bodies that they are initially not going to recognize. Now, if bodies have debris on it and that debris has a smell of fire, obviously it would, and it's heavy, dogs are going to have a harder time trying to find it. Now, they have to wait for the bodies to start rotting. Here's something I forgot to realize. If they're encased in something that melted on them, or their body is so charred to the ground, it's sort of like this glazed over effect on the body, a lot of that smell is going to get trapped in, and it's just going to emit that burning smell of like wood or whatever it is. Kevin Land, thank you for the fire. Right? So all of these problems that they're going to start having, and they're not going to find bodies for a while. Matter of fact, when they start doing cleanups, it's when they're probably going to find more bodies, right? 9/11, for example, when the buildings fell and started digging through the rubble for bodies, it was months later, and in fact, even years later, when they were digging and breaking the ground to put the new building there, they were finding body parts. And they were still sifting through a lot of the dirt in 9/11. They're going to have to do that here. And I know that a lot of people are asking questions. I'm going to get into the whole thing about metal warping and melting and trees not burning down. Trees are really, really resilient, and depends on the species of trees some trees are more resilient to fire than others. So you have to understand that, because we see that in homes. When homes burn, when you use just that regular home wood, that can burn to the ground and completely away. Where somebody's using a heavier wood like oak, for example, that's going to take more time to burn. So, wood, guys, burns at different speeds, if you will. And you only and I learned that even better, if you will, when I started doing my bug out weekends in the woods and started sleeping by the fire and not in the tent and in the open. I would use hardwood at night to burn slower, so I'm not getting up every 2-3 hours stoking the fire. That's why you use harder wood at night. You use softer wood in the day to do cooking and to pretty much just do cooking and to get the fire up and running a lot faster. Then you use the harder wood, if you will, for hotter fires, longer burning fires, right? So wood, again, has different grades, if you will. Anyway, so jet fuel doesn't burn Hawaii. But yeah, it's I'm hearing a complaint about wood, metal, and metal, being that it is seemingly stronger than wood, it does take a while for it to burn, if that makes sense. Plus, they're different. Again, different wood burns differently, and depends on the content inside the tree, how much water it has, and the whole 9 yards. So, like a lot of scientific shit, I don't want to get into. I'm just trying to explain how hardwood at night. Yeah, see, as soon as I said that, I knew I fucked up. I was like, yeah, burning hardwood at night. I'm like, yep, there that went. Right out of my mouth, right into the chat. So anyway, guys, currently right now there's 111 people dead. So the number went up 11 from when I reported it Tuesday. 20 search dogs, like I said, in the entire island. Now, I don't know if any more made it on in the last couple of days. I hope so. Here's the kicker, guys. Hundreds of kids are missing. I was watching Squirrel Tribe. I was watching her, and she was talking about the kid aspect of it, and I completely missed that aspect of it. And again, watching her video and coming to the conclusion, holy shit, that's right. A lot more kids are missing. And so I dived in on the internet, and I'm like, shit, there are hundreds of kids missing. Not 20, not 30, hundreds of kids missing. There are kids being found in cars as parents, with their parents, found in cars with their parents because their parents are trying to make a run. And so they're finding cars with bodies still in them. And again, finding bodies and knowing that they're kids, because obviously the body size of the burnt body is smaller. Now, when the human body burns, like anything else, it shrinks. But you're still going to know the difference between that structure of a child and a human. So they're starting to find that now. And not starting, they've been finding that now, sorry. When they start finding the kids that were home alone, that's going to be the heartbreak. And the problem is, guys, a lot of the search and rescue guys are going to have a hard time with this. There is one thing, guys, to search and rescue for bodies in the woods. It's an entirely different ball game to sift through debris and look for bodies that are melted to the ground, especially if you find kids melted to the ground, or even worse. I don't think it gets any worse than kids dying, but with a mother trying to shelter her kids from that heat. That's probably the worst finds they're going to have. And these guys are not used to that. So they're going to have problems after this. They're going to have major problems after this. For those guys because a lot of these guys, they're search and rescue from rural areas. They're not from cities. They're not from like New York or Detroit or California. I'm assuming a lot of them are not from there, sorry, that haven't dealt with that. Those of us in the city, we've seen that. We've seen burnt people 1,000 times over. We're used to it. As callous and cold as that sound, we are used to it. But these guys are going to have a lot of psychological problems down the line. So they're going to have to take breaks and or leave altogether. Now, there's something to be said, guys, when you start a search and rescue, when you start looking for bodies, when you start looking for people, there's something to be said about the continuing bodies coming in and you trying to deal with this shit, and then you breaking at some point. Some of these guys are going to break. They're probably going to break there. Some of them are probably crying right now as we speak because it's just too much for them to handle. After 9/11, there's not much that bothers me in reference to that, right? I mean, I could fucking search for bodies all day and don't make the connections. And the only reason, there's another reason why I don't make the connections, and I don't get moved by it, is because I know that they're in a better place, and I don't think about it at the time when looking. I didn't, especially the Trade Center. I didn't think about what they went through at the time. I did my job, and a lot of us did our jobs, and we just sat there and we dug through it, or we pulled the body out of the hole, if you will. And that's when they started removing rubble out of the Trade Center. And then when they opened the bag up and we were looking at the bodies, you didn't make the connection. You had to disconnect yourself from that. And that's the most important thing a lot of these guys need to do, is disconnect yourself from what you're finding when you're working. After it's over, then you can become a human being again and start crying, carrying on, and do what needs to be done. But yeah, it's gonna suck for a lot of those people. And forget about the people who lost family members and now have to claim those bodies. That's gonna be the hard one. You know, dental recognition and DNA recognition is probably the only way they're gonna find a lot of these people. And some of these people, I fear, are never gonna be found, because if a building collapsed on them and they search through it and they don't recognize that thing on the ground and they just move over it, the construction crews come in and start moving shit, I think they're not going to find a lot of people. Because to this day, man, thousands of people are still missing. Not 1,000 people, thousands of people are still missing. So that's a problem. And we are already 9 days in, and they're still missing 1,000 people. So this is bad. To boot, I think some people drowned in the water, and though some of the bodies should have turned up, if that hurricane force wind blew them out to the ocean, they're probably going to start seeing bodies on other islands. And if not, they're gone. They're sunk into the ocean. So there's always that. There's always people that jumped into the water and will never be found, right? But enough of that morbid shit. Though it's probably going to get a little more morbid, so bear with me. Again, like I said, many people are found in the cars. Now, how it started. Right now, the power company is being blamed, and lawsuits are already starting to fly, because the video that we're seeing of the flash and the fire and the power line that's down, that video is starting to circulate a lot more. So it looks like it started there, though there are reports of fires starting in 4 separate locations in Hawaii. So somebody let JJ Shoot know what 5x5 means. Thank you, Mr. Landfill. Appreciate it. So, fire is starting in 4 spots on an island that's been sought after by realtors and developers for a long time. Well before this, guys. Well before this, that part of the island was sought after by realtors. A lot of Hawaiian islands are sorted out after by developers and real estates and all that. Realtors, sorry. So, this now happening, you have realtors and developers contacting these people a week after the fire, asking to buy their land or their home already. So clearly, guys, something's going on. The fact that these people are jumping on it so fast. We have the Green Initiative that was being implemented, or wanting to be implemented, in Lahaina, or Maui for that matter, the entire island of Maui. And we have all of these weird things starting to happen. Before I start getting to all that weird shit, because there's something weird that happened that somebody caught on their phone, which is very fucking strange. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. Anyway, guys, so the power companies are being blamed for, but not telling us, but reports of fire starting in 4 different spots. Very, very odd. Now, we did see one fire start by power line, and then the wind started whipping up just enough to start to get that fire going. And now there's a new term that they're using. I'm going to get into that new term in a little bit as well, because I'm like, guys, if they create a new term, we're going to see more of this. This isn't the last time we see this. Now, I have a theory with the power companies of why they're going after the power companies so fast, and asking the power companies why they didn't shut the power down. Something else happened before the power was shut down that shouldn't have happened. Anyway, so I'm going on this theory, guys. What if this is a ploy to tank or force the power companies to become state run, right? Because again, this green initiative, wanting people to put the Jumpstart Maui program so that everybody has a EV charging car system in their homes with their EV cars, electric vehicle cars, whatever, you know what I mean. What if this is to implement their green initiative, guys, to take over the power companies, and so that they don't have to deal with the power company and their bullshit, they are now going to blame and throw everything they possibly can at this power company to tank the power company so that it can become state run. And once it's state run, the state has the gamut to do what they want. Now, what I didn't put in my notes is that I looked up executive orders. Last year, there were 8 executive orders to make a bunch of land around Hawaii, all of Hawaii, public land or public use. Public use and public land, guys, is a ploy for states to turn private land or state land and hand it over to developers. Now, obviously not hand it over. Developers have to buy it or whatever it is. But nonetheless, upon my research, I noticed that public land or public use almost always, not always, but almost always gets sold to developers so that they can develop the land for better use. Public use. So, you can look up these executive orders yourself. Type in Hawaii Executive Orders 2022. There should be a page that pulls up that gives you, I think it's 7 to 8 different, actually 7 executive orders. One executive order was, I forgot the term, was like done over again. So they did something again, and they reposted it. Sorry, they reposted it again, and it wound up looking like it's 8, but it's actually 7. You can look this up yourself. Anyway, public land use, guys, then turns into 15-minute cities, 20-minute cities, whatever you want. Now, for those that don't know what 15-minute cities are, I know a lot of you are not new to this channel, but if you are, 15-minute cities are where everything is within 15 minutes of you, whether that's walking or riding a bike. 15-minute cities. They want people to live in 15-minute cities, and 15-minute cities, like let's say, for example, Eric Adams was talking about wanting New York City to become a 15-minute city. 15-minute cities like New York City would be zoned cities. Now, they don't want to call it that because a zoned city sounds like a prison, and that's exactly what it is. So a zoned city would be like, in a 15-minute city, is you can't leave your zone because everything in your zone is 15 minutes from you. So if you leave your zone and go into another zone, you could possibly be turned away from getting food, going to the movies, going to the restaurant, just going to the store in general. They want you to stay in your zone so that you don't travel more, right? So a city like New York or California would turn into zone, or Los Angeles rather, would turn into zone cities. They would be 15-minute cities, but you'd be zoned to stay in your area, if that makes any sense. So anyway, guys, with that, Hawaii, I have to mention this, Hawaii had abnormally dry season. So, not that they've never experienced it before, but Hawaii was abnormally dry, and they noted that before the fire started. Not to boot, they had an unusual windy day. Now, Hawaii, or islands for the most part, are windy, right? Obviously, if you have a mountain blocking certain ways, it's not as windy. But if you're on the side of a mountain where it's like east or west straight through, it's going to be fairly windy. But it was unusually windy, if that makes sense, and it was unusually dry. All right. So, getting into the weird issues that happened in Hawaii, Instagram, I don't know if he was an influencer, but an Instagram post by a guy named Shervin333 filmed a string of lights in the sky that looked like satellites. They were moving in synchronicity over Hawaii. So it looked like, in the video, it looked like it was anywhere between 8 to 12 lights moving across the sky together. Now, normally, when anything in a string of lights move across the sky together, it would be satellites. Now, are those satellites, and we have to think responsibly, were those satellites put there purposely to take pictures of Hawaii to see what's going on and to see how bad things are? Or those string of satellites by different organizations put in line together so that when they pass over Hawaii to take pictures that they can see what's going on and how bad the damage is? Or was this a direct energy weapon that didn't disperse yet and are still lined up? There's always that, right? So that's something to consider. Now again, it's Shervin, CHERVIN 333. Go over to his Instagram page and check that out, and you'll see the video out there. Hopefully they didn't take the video down, because you know how that goes. Oh my God, he figured it out, and then they take your shit down. So keep that in mind. Keep that in the back of your head. This happened approximately, guys. He filmed this August 11, 2023 at 8:08 his time, or 20:08 hours their time, Hawaiian time, right? So that was weird. That was a weird thing, number one. That was like the big weird thing that I saw in the video first. Weird thing number two was the emergency system never being activated. Now, the chief, Maui chief, not the chief of police, but Maui chief, says that he does not regret not activating the sirens during the wildfire. His excuse is it would not have saved those people. He dives deeper into that, stating that he didn't sound it off because that is the tsunami alarm system or alert system, and he didn't want those people running for the hills, which is where the fire came from the top of the hills working its way down. Now, interesting, guys, fire normally moves up. Moving down into a valley, obviously, if wind is pushing it, it's going to move the fire, but not that fucking fast and not downhill. Fire burns up, heat moves up. But in this weird case, it moved downhill. He thinks that Hawaiians are stupid, and he's going to sound the tsunami alarm, and people are going to get in their cars and drive into the fire. So anyway, guys, he doesn't regret not sounding the alarm. Now, you can tell that this guy is a piece of shit, because the fact that he doesn't have regret. If this alarm, guys, if this emergency alert system would have saved one life, it would have been worth it. It would have got people. Listen, not for nothing, I'm not sure why people didn't know that this giant smoke cloud headed towards their way wasn't going to be a problem. But let's forget about that for a second. Let's shove that bullshit. The fact that he sat there and goes, it wasn't going to save those people, means he's a piece of shit. Period. And this guy needs to be removed out of office, or better yet, you know what I'm going to say, something around his neck and dragged out of office. You choose what that something around his neck is, and it's not a fucking hug. But for him to say that, that's a piece of shit move. But still, people are still wondering why it wasn't activated. Now, the head of Maui's Emergency Management Agency, that's what he's the chief of, asserted on Wednesday that he has no regrets about failing to activate the warning sirens as the apocalyptic wildfires swept through the island, despite claims that the system could have saved hundreds of lives. Chief Herman Yandea defended his decision only to send out alerts via mobile device, radio, television, and the country's opt-in resident alert system after his experience and qualifications for the lofty position were called into question during a press conference held by the governor. Ayande said the blaring sirens are typically reserved for tsunami warnings, and Hawaiians are trained to seek higher ground when they are set off, which would have been towards the fast-moving inferno that killed 110 people at the time this article was written. It's 111 now. But anyway, again, he thinks Hawaiians are stupid, right? So he didn't want to sound the alarm when he should have. And I was thinking that in the back of my head. I'm like, why the fuck didn't they put the alarms on for these people? Why? But I mean, though it doesn't take rocket science to figure out, oh shit, man, there's smoke. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's get on our surfboards and go. No, they for some reason, a lot of people hung around. Now, there is reports of people being at work and not being able to get to their house because their house was cut off. Wait, the fire cut the path off of their way home, which is why a lot of people are thinking they're going to find a lot of kids in these homes, which is going to be a bad day for a lot of those search guys. Trust me. They find more than one kid, guys, those people are going to be shot for the rest of their lives. I could all but guarantee that. Haven't had a hug since 2011. Okay. So, weird thing number 3. The hydrants weren't working even before the power. Now, in hilly areas, you have a pump system that pumps water into the hydrant systems, right? And then you have pumps that pump water through those hydrant mains. So hydrants are on separate pipes depending on where you are. And in this case, they were on a separate system to pump water up into the hydrants. The hydrants were not working before the power went off. Firefighters were having a hard time getting water out of the hydrants that should have had water in them. That's the weird thing number 3, right? Because why was there no water in these fucking pipes? Right? Of course, guys, these questions need to be answered. But nobody's answering these questions. Sorry. Should have did this earlier. Excuse me. That's weird thing number 3. Sorry, not 4. Weird thing number 4, I'm going to get into right now. I think is pretty fucking, pretty interesting. But before I go down that road, guys, so I'm going to put a link in the chat. This is a donation link. Do not donate to me. YouTube, listen, follow the bouncing ball, read my lips. I'll do sign language. Do not donate to me. YouTube takes 30%, so don't donate to me. Donate directly to the site that I'm going to give you in the chat. I'm going to put this donation link in the description section below after the live stream. Do not donate to me. YouTube takes 30%. The donation people are only going to get 70% of that. Don't. No. Okay. So, I have to say it because some of you guys are just like fucking hard-headed and will donate to me anyway. Don't donate to me. The link is going in the chat. I'm going to put it in the chat a couple of times throughout tonight. It's in the chat. It is MauiFoodBank.org. Donate money to them, not to me. All right. Hopefully we square that away. Because I was going to have you guys donate to me and then I donate to them, but YouTube takes 30% of your donations. And yes, 70% is better than nothing, but still, give 100% of your money to these people, directly to them. Somebody emailed me that earlier, 2 days ago, and I forgot who it was that donated to me, but let's see if I can find her email and give her a shout out. Hopefully she wants the shout out. And if she doesn't, I apologize. It's Stacy G 5493. Right? So she sent me the link, and she sent me the link to another one called Calvary Chapel South Maui. I could put that in there too, if you guys want. Yeah, I'll put it in there too, if I'm not mistaken. I think they got a donation link on here somewhere. Yeah, it says give. So I'll put both in there. Fuck it. Maui emergency chief resigned. Did he? Thank you for that, Michigander girl. Michigander. I'm sorry if I fucked that up, but thank you for that. I didn't know that. That's cool. Thank you. Listen, guys, this is in Hudson Valley. We'll be putting the link up a few more times. Thank you for that, Mike. Appreciate it. Warden says, do you have a link so that we can donate a bag of alligator dicks to YouTube? No, but that would be cool. Give, send, go. Someone said don't use GoFundMe. GoFundMe is woke. They are. Give Send Go is the way to go. I heard Give Send Go being good. Hold on. You know what? Let's. We got some time before I can finish this. I need to finish this. What is it? Hawaii Emergency Management Boss resign. When I type it in, I sound like an idiot. Resident boss me think resign. Oh, he did. 5 minutes ago, came in. All right. 30 minutes ago. Maui's emergency service director resigns after admit criticism for not using siren alert system. Fuck that dude. We should all send. No, I was going to say we should all send spam at him, or if you're on Hawaii, throw cans of spam at him very hard. Like, hard. But so right now, guys, this story came down 9:05 on Yahoo. Maui's emergency service director resigns amid criticism for not using sirens to alert residents to killer fire. And that's it for now. That's all that's being said on that website. That's Yahoo. Huffington Post, same thing. After facing criticism, embattled head of Maui. And listen, after giving that shit response, it wasn't going to save them anyway. Yo, seriously? So he's out of office. Very good. Fuck that dude. Piece of shit. Hope he dies of ass cancer. What kind of fucking shit is that? People are sitting there needing your fucking help and could have used your help, and your excuses, it wasn't going to save them anyway? Old Joe Biden said he resigned due to health reasons. My ass he did. We all know why he resigned. We is not that stupid. He got his balls broken, and then... Oh, and thank you... Who put that there? Someone said for health reasons. Old Joe Biden. Right here in this article, HawaiiNewsNow.com. Administrator Herman Yandea, cited health reasons for his resignation. You know that's bullshit. We all know it's bullshit. But anyway, good. Fuck him. He's out. Hope he goes broke and they fucking never feed his fucking ass, a piece of shit. Anyway, sorry about that. So, guys, all of this shit going on. Number 4. Weirdness number 4. Police Chief John Pelletera was the lead at the Vegas shooting back in 2017. He's also the chief of police in Lahaina. What are the coincidence there? What are the chances of that being a coincidence? The guy in charge of 2 fucking happens to be at 2 spots. Now, yes, it could happen, but just throwing that out there for conspiracy theorists to thrive on that one. So, supposedly, the governor of Hawaii states that he's looking for ways. Supposedly, it was said. This is weird thing number 5. Supposedly, it was said that the governor of Hawaii stated that he's looking for ways to acquire Lahaina. But that statement hasn't been confirmed. I've been looking all over the internet about it, but a couple people swore he said it during a conference. But I'm not sure if he meant that in way of personally or if he can take control over it to help out Lahaina. Whatever. The governor also stated in another, that he's looking to protect the land from realtors from purchasing and buying, and in fact is coming up with a temporary ban or an executive order for temporary ban on any purchases or sales of property in the damaged areas or surrounding areas. Because that's another way you get your foot in the door, is you start buying land in the surrounding areas, right? So he's stopping any purchases of that as of right now. So that's something decent to note. Now, another weird thing, a week after, I went over this a little bit, a week after the fire, there is reports from locals in Hawaii, or rather in Lahaina or Maui, they're getting calls from developers or realtors on selling their land. They're getting offers already. Motherfuckers are not even in the ground yet, and they're offering, what you call it. Cheryl Brown says, why did he resign? I can't read between the lines. He really resigned because he got his balls broken for not setting the emergency alert system off, warning people about the fire. Then comes up with the explanation of those people couldn't have been saved or were going to die anyway, right? Those people couldn't have been saved is what he said, right? So he doesn't know that, but he made that obnoxious comment. So that's why he resigned. But of course, to save the little bit of face that he has to say for health reasons. And he should have just said, I got my ass handed to me on fucking online, and that's why I'm resigning. But he can't say that. So, another weird thing to note, that along with the people getting offers on their homes and their land after the fire ripped through it, Lahaina is a historic town. Everybody knows that. A bunch of developers tried to go in there and develop some shit, and there was a recent court battle, and they fucking won. All right. So we all know that. With all of that going on, guys, the town ground, the historic town ground, the historic town burned to the ground. But the $1 million mansions in that same area were not touched at all. As a matter of fact, there's a picture of one mansion that was burned, that fire burned around it, which is fucking virtually impossible unless this guy had fire retardant shit on his home. But his house looked like it wasn't touched at all. Now, people will say it was a miracle, but I was looking for fire damage, at the very least. Warping of his shingles. Zero. Nothing. So that's a little bit strange in itself, guys, that everything around it burned except for the $1 million mansions that lay across the water line there, the coast, if you will, sorry. And the rest of those homes, or what would be shacks, burned down to the ground. Burned down to the ground. So, now, not so much weird, but this is number 9. People of Lahaina are getting $1.4 million. That breaks down into $700 per household. Right? So, sorry. That breaks down to $700 per household, right? So now, keep this in mind. I know a lot of you know this. A lot of you have said this. The Ukraine got $196 billion in aid, military weapons and aid. $196 billion to date. With, here's the kick in the dick, guys. Here's the kick in the ball sack. With Joe Biden, as recent as last week, asking for $24 billion more for Ukraine to help in a bipartisan support. That's going to put them well over $200 billion. So over $200 billion is going to the Ukraine, because they're going to pass this $24 billion, guys. But being that he requested this just 7 days before, or rather 7 days ago, the fire happened 8 days ago, while Lahaina was burning, Maui was burning, he was requesting for $24 billion more to be sent to the Ukraine. Keep in mind, this fire happened 10 days ago. 7 days ago, he requested this money. So, again, look at the bullshit. That means now that Maui, or rather Hawaii as a whole, is going to have to get billions of dollars as well. Because how is he going to save face? Now, listen, I personally think Joe Biden's campaign is done, especially with this going on. You got people in Hawaii losing their homes, burning to the ground, and you are 3 days into this fire going on, and you have the audacity to go to Congress and ask for $24 billion more. So yeah, right, fuck us, right? Fuck us. Help us, fuck us, is what Biden is doing. You know, help me, fuck me. And that's the craziness about this whole thing. $700 per household, which is $1.4 million to Maui, versus over $200 billion to the Ukraine. Anyway, guys, for anything that you don't believe me on, do me a favor. Head over to Google, or what's the other one? The one I don't use Google. I use the other fucking, the uppity one. Shit, I can't. What am I using? Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. Go, DuckDuckGo. My god, I couldn't believe I couldn't remember that shit. I'm really shot these days. I'm old, and my brain is going. Anyway, so yeah, guys, this is going to. Right, Hunter Moon and somebody else mentioned that. He mentioned the whole no comment thing when asked about Hawaii a couple days ago. I have no comment, but I'm going to raise money for Ukraine. DuckDuckGo, yes, old Joe Biden. DuckDuckGo. Yeah, imagine. What is your outlook on what's going on in Hawaii? No comment. But I'm going to send $24 billion more to the Ukraine because they need it. Because we have to stop Russia dead in its tracks. That robot asshole. Listen, I mean, again, I don't hate the man because he's a politician, right? Politicians, I think, for the most part, are bad. I mean, you know, there might be a couple good ones out there, but for the most part, they're bad. Debs asked, why are you losing weight? Because I have AIDS. No, I'm just fucking kidding. I'll tell you guys next week when I'm dropping weight. Not because I have AIDS. That's probably not going to go over well, too. People are like, that's not funny. You can't make jokes about AIDS and disease. Fuck you. I make jokes about everything. Especially AIDS. But anyway, not going to go there. You know, it's funny. I used to make jokes about AIDS, and my wife in the beginning when she first got me, she was like, that is not funny. I know people that died of AIDS, yada, yada, yada. And so now I make jokes about it and she starts laughing. So it's just funny how you get used to somebody and their bullshit, you know. He's like, you know, don't you ever make jokes about that again. And then like 10 years later, she's like, why does that guy look like that? Because he has AIDS. And she'll start fucking laughing. So, you know, you can make fun of anything and everything. It's just in context of how you do it or how malicious you are with it. It'll always depend. But holy shit, man, this hour almost went by fast. Now, guys, a new term that popped up, and if you guys heard this term, please in the chat section, let me know if you have by saying yes or no. Alex, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Bear Lover, I use Brave as well. I use Brave on my phone, actually. I use that on my phone. I use DuckDuckGo on here. I do believe DuckDuckGo is being tainted, right? Because when you look for certain things, you can't find it. But anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. So there's a new term called Fire Hurricane. I've never in my fucking life heard of this term. I've heard of Fire Tornado. Clearly, you've seen those in Wild on Fire. When you see videos of that shit fucking whipping through, you're like, that is really impressive and pretty cool. You don't want to be there when it happens, but it's cool to look at from a distance. Lynn, I do not know if any tourists were caught in that fire or died. I'm going to assume maybe, but I'm not sure. Manuel, thank you for the donation, man. Appreciate it. Also, guys, if you can't donate or you don't want to give YouTube that 30%, watch the commercials. That's how you can donate to those YouTube channels. And I know the commercials are asinine. You want to rip your fucking eyeballs out, especially when it's some liberal fucking commercial. I bear and grin it for a lot of the guys I know on YouTube. I fucking sit there and want to punch my computer right across the fucking room. But if you want to donate to us and you can't, or you don't want to give YouTube the money, watch the commercials. A lot easier. It's a lot cheaper. I do have a Cash App link in the description section as well. Again, that's if you guys are hard up on looking to donate. I would try to say stay away from donating to YouTube, especially if you don't want to give those hypocrites 30%. And granted, yes, I'm still getting 70%. 30% of them getting anything is bullshit. But not my fucking fight. Anyway. Did I miss something? I did. Tiger said, I had family that died in the Paradise Fire. That sounds so familiar. I've heard of that fire. None of it sounds familiar. But sorry to hear that anyway. Play the playlist to support. And Northern Girl Hobby said yes. Run a playlist to support your favorite channels. So a lot of channels, guys, especially the smaller channels, just let the playlist play and then walk away. Let the playlist play and walk away. Let the playlist play and walk away. That almost rhymes. That does rhyme. I'm about to break out into a rap fucking song. Anyway, we're not going to go there. So fire hurricanes, guys. Have you heard that term before? Yes or no? Linda said nope. Nato, someone said yes. Yes. Bear Lover said yes. Twice. Someone said I heard a Sharknado. Okay. No, no, no. Cali Prepper, thank you for that. Thank you for noticing. I appreciate it, boss. I heard a firestorm. Yes. I've heard fire tornadoes. I never heard a fire hurricane. Like, never in my life have I fucking heard that. Paradise, California. All right, thank you for that. Thank you. No, 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 no. Bear said yes. Yes, no, yes. There's a lot of no's here. I'm telling you, I never heard that shit until today. The angry rapper. Oh, okay. Yeah, so anyway, again, so here's my issue with that term, guys. My issue with that term is because they come up with a new term. I never heard it before. And now, by the way, we're seeing a fucking hurricane that's going to go up the coast of California. I've never even seen a hurricane hit California, and this shit's going up the coast of California. It's going to hit a level 4, guys. I'm pretty sure a hurricane might have in the past hit California, not in recent time that I can remember, and not in recent fucking times where it's a category 4 going up the coast of California. A little too coincidental if you ask me, but I'm not going to get into it. Do you still get money if we watch using YouTube Premium? No, I don't think you do, but it doesn't matter. If you got YouTube Premium, fuck it, use YouTube Premium. An AIDS tornado, the next is going to be AIDS hurricane. Whipping in the fucking air and you breathe in deeply, you're going to get fucking AIDS and get skinny and die, like right on the spot. But anyway, not the point. The point, guys, is that, yes, Hurricane Hillary, right, going up the West Coast, sorry. Never seen or heard of any shit like that. But anyway, my point with the fire hurricane, guys, is that this new term that I've heard for the first time is out there. We're going to see more of it. If you come up with a term, that means we're going to see more of this shit. That's the bad thing. You're going to see more fire hurricanes in and on Hawaii. Trust me. Anything that has water and wind involved, you're going to see fucking this new term being used a lot more now. And again, guys, they're using Mr. Climate Change. Oh, by the way, YouTube is hammering down on climate change misinformation. So keep that in the back of your heads. Note that to use other creators that are on here watching. They're hammering people who talk badly about climate change. So just keep that in the back of your head when you make a video about climate change. And here's the deal, guys. And I have to apologize for this. Manuel, thank you for the donation. I used to break other creators' balls about using code. I understand why we use code now. We use code not because we don't want to get demonetized, because when you get demonetized, your videos show less. Yes, clearly you make less money, or no money at all in that video, actually. That's not the reason. The reason is if your videos show less people see it, the message doesn't get out. So you have to use code so that your message gets out. And hopefully, a lot of you guys understand code and read between the line with code. Hopefully. No commercials with Yankee. Yeah, I don't have YouTube Premium anymore. I used to. I don't have it anymore. I'm like, why am I giving them $14 a month? Fuck them, you know? Like, so I bear with the commercials now. I am eating low-calorie spam. Am I that thing that everybody's making a comment about? Not everybody. A lot of people making a comment about it tonight. Am I that fucking skinnied out? Do I look like an Ethiopian? Is that bad? I don't want to look like an Ethiopian. Speaking in code is the new YouTube slang. Yeah, Johnny 308, exactly. But anyway, guys, we're going to see more fire hurricanes. They come up with the term. We're going to see more of this shit happening left and fucking right. I do use Rumble, Live Free or Die. I am on Rumble. I've said this 1,000 times. There's not enough people on Rumble to get your message across. Yes, he said you're the captain now. Nice one. Nice reference. That's Somalian, not Ethiopian, but yeah, okay. Close enough. You know, maybe Haitian. But anyway, guys. So, with this, guys, here's one thing that I'm also noticing. All of these things that are going on the island seems to be like a test run. Apparently, the cops are breaking balls and not letting people back into the neighborhood. That's one. They're telling people they can't search through shit because the search and rescue guys have to do their jobs. Okay. Someone said, "You're not a man." I'm like, all right, what did I do? And then she said, "Spell check." But so that's the excuse they're giving, not that of not letting a lot of people in. Now it depends on what side. Like cops are like with anything. You'll go to a group of cops and they're a bunch of dicks. You'll go like a mile up the road. That cop will be like, "Yeah, man, come in." You know. So you have to test the water with the cops. But the cops apparently are not letting people in. Supposedly there was looting and rioting, but I did not see any articles or any videos suggesting that there was. Though there are Hawaiians complaining about running out of food and water, and that was a couple of days ago. I'm pretty sure that there are shipments coming in as we speak, so hopefully that's why we're not seeing a lot of fucking looting and rioting. So we have to. I'm standing fast on that. But the misinformation and disinformation, guys, that we have to be very careful of. They are on an island. They are getting information in from mainland as it trickles in, vice versa. We're getting information as it trickles out. So there could be a lot of misinformation in there because they are on an island. It's not as easy as jumping in your car and heading over to East Palestine, Ohio, where you could see shit for yourself. I can't jump in my car and drive to Hawaii. That would be fucking amazing if I could, but I can't. So information is trapped on that island and gets out in drips and drabs. Being that they have no power out there, there's a lot of shit that can't get out. You have to keep that in mind as well. Right, Moldy Soldier. What is there to loot? When someone said that to me, I'm like, I don't think so. I looked it up. I didn't see anything, but someone was like, they're looting for food and shit. I'm like, I didn't see a fucking thing. And you're right. After looking at the picture, you're like, what are they stealing? There's nothing to steal. Nothing. The homes are burnt to the ground. You know, like. And Mary Joy said, with fires, you lose all your preps. You do. And flooding. Bad flooding, you lose all your preps as well. There was a prepper on Breezy Point. He had all his shit in the basement. When the fucking water came in, it flooded his shit. Destroyed 90% of his shit, with the exception of food that he had wrapped away and stuff like that, canned goods. A lot of the rest of his shit was garbage now. And they also had a mix of sewage and fucking beach water in the what you call it. When your shit has sewage, when your stuff is sewage contaminated, you have to throw it away. All right, so pretty much he lost all his shit. But I think he tried to clean off his canned goods and keep it. But for the most part, he lost a lot of his shit. So yeah, fire and floods, your shit goes. If it's like, you know, river water, whatever, you can sift through shit and get it back. But you can sift through shit and get it back. But when sewage is involved, you got to get rid of it. So anyway. Yeah, Bear Love, I heard that too. I heard that from Hawaiians saying that the roadblocks were fucking shit up. But whatever, you know. You got hit my what? Christian Prepper, you got hit my mice? You want to spell check that? You got hit my mice, didn't you? Mice. I don't know. But thank you, Hudson Valley. Appreciate that. Guys, I'm going to head over to the Angry Truth channel. Thank you for watching, by the way. Thank you for the support. Thank you for supporting me. You got hit my mice. I don't know what the fuck that means. But anyway, I will see some of you guys over at the Angry Truth channel. The rest of you guys, I'll see you next Tuesday. I think I'll be back home by next Tuesday. I will be back home by next Tuesday. Next week, I am leaving to Greece. I heard some shit was going on in Greece. I got to find out what's going on. The only thing I know for sure is going on in Greece is that pickpocketing and crime traps or traps, if you will, or setups are happening left and right over there. But other than that, I'll try to live stream from Greece. Try. If I can't, I'll have a week off. Overtired.